Bloomberg, in an uncertain market, gold has been a shining star in 2025. As for how to invest in bullion, our guest this hour has been thinking a lot about some of the ways to not just look at the gold market, but also the broader stock market. Ross Healy is chairman of Strategic Analysis Corporation and a portfolio manager with MacNicol Associates Asset Management. Let's go through some top picks, shall we? Stocks that you like right now. When it comes to the gold trade, Fortuna Mining is a name that you like.
I took a hard look at Fortuna Mining, and by the way, I had a nice hour-long conversation with management just to confirm some of the things that I was seeing. Very strong balance sheet. Okay, that's important. Reserves. The potential to expand reserves is really important because you don't want to be in something that sort of disappears under your feet. And thirdly, when I look at the gold stocks that we follow, our intrinsic value measure for Fortuna is I guess I'm going to say it's higher than any of the other gold stocks that we follow. So I've got cheap, just selling above book value, excellent balance sheet, wonderful and growing reserves. And what's not to like?
One of the other things I've heard about with, now that everybody's laser focused on gold miners, they weren't talking about them for a long time, now they are, is jurisdictions where companies are mining. Is that a factor?
Thank you. Yes, listen, I should have brought that factor up too. Their principal mine is in Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, in Africa, and people are concerned. Well, how safe is that? Well, politically, that Côte d'Ivoire has been one of the most stable of countries, and their relationship with their employees has been really good too, because that's another big source of aggravation in Africa.
Fortuna also a silver play, but more so a gold play.
Listen, I thought it was a silver play too, John, and then I found out
you did your analysis.
10% is silver.
Yeah.
90% gold. So right now it's a gold stock with a silver.
With a silver sprinkle. Okay, now moving from the gold area to, we've heard a lot about financial services. Now you said before the break that Power Corp identifies as the kind of company that you like just based on value.
Yes.
Power has a range of assets, but when you look at that company, what do you see?
Well, first of all, since Paul Desmarais' boys took over the company, they hadn't done much about actually growing it, and now they've got new management. So that is a work in progress, and hopefully it will be successful. But it's also selling nicely at a discount to its book value. And, I mean, a considerable discount to its book value, John, and they have a nice dividend. So that's the kind of stock that if nothing works out, nothing particularly bad is going to happen to you. And that's the kind of stock that I like to be in and have my clients in.
Preservation of capital.
Preservation of capital is, could well be going forward, could be absolutely critical, and given how expensive the market is, at least the U.S. market is.
Power Corp has so many different investments that there is some utility exposure. I'm not sure we'd look at it as a pure play exposure in utilities, but everybody's been talking about utility. In fact, people were talking about utilities when the market was hot because they were talking about the AI part of it.
Yes.
But now they're talking about it in light of the uncertainty. For those watching on the screen, we had Canadian Utilities, CU.
Nice dividend, about middling in its although much more upside than downside risk. I think when I look back in the past 20 years of its valuation. And of course, then you've got the Bank of Canada kind of in your corner, because if things get rough, they'll continue to bring down interest rates, and that will continue to reinforce the story of utilities and CU for that matter.
And with all these companies, whether it's a gold miner, whether it's a diversified financial services company, whether it's a more pure play in utilities, when you're looking at these companies, outside of them reaching your checklist and being worthy of your investment dollars, What's the time frame you're thinking about when you're investing in these kinds of stocks?
Well, you know, when I'm on BNN, John, I've got to figure out that I'm going to be coming back. Maybe I'll be invited back in a year to
be held accountable
and to see, you know, hold my feet to the fire. What's happened to be accountable.
Yeah.
The last thing that I want to do is to be there with 3 stocks that are down 40%. Well, they were great AI stocks, one could argue, but look, it wasn't the market for AI. It's the market for defense.
All right. Ross, good to see you. Thanks very much.
Nice being with you, John.
Ross Healy, Chairman of Strategic Analysis Corporation, joining us.